Oh. Whew. Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we're going to be taking a look at match 2 of round 8 of D.LEAGUE 2023-2024 season between Lifull Alt Rhythm and Valuence Infinities. So I do know with Lifull in round 6, they did a pretty risky routine, and I do think a lot of the judges appreciated what they brought. For me, I did feel like there were so many missed opportunities because I loved how they were going about their concept. So I am intrigued on what they're going to be doing in this case. And Valuence, I know coming off of, at this point in time, they came off of having a very successful Cypher round, which their rounds, they were probably one of 2 crews that had very, very stable round to round performances within the Cypher. So I am excited to see what they bring to the table here. As always, we're going to take a look at each group, do an analysis of each one. I'm going to take my pick of who I would think for audience, and if I were looking at the criteria that they were looking at, who would get each item of mine. So without further ado, let's get started. Nice. Hey. Nice. Why does it feel so quiet? Okay. Nice. Gorgeous. That's something Lifull has always been able to do well, is a lot of lifts like that. Gorgeous in execution, proper technique. It's beautiful. Significantly stronger performance from them, or more competitive, I would say, for the actual league that they're in. Nice. So my guy in the middle does look like a special performer. I'll know more as soon as we're finished watching, but I love it. It's fun. Fun. Very enjoyable. Okay, so I looked. The point of this concept was, they had 3 special performers, I think, right? And they said one of the members named June, who's a special performer here. They said it's the year 2050, and June was a member of D.LEAGUE and of this crew, and they're looking back on photos and his time of being in the crew. So I thought that was really cool. I can pick up on a lot of the fingerprints of that, and like I've said, I do know judges are aware of the concept up front. That can either work for a group or work against a group, because if a group says this concept is about this, and then the concept ain't given concept in that way, it can really backfire on a couple categories if they're not careful. So in this case, I think they did a pretty good job. They should be safe in that realm. But here we go, from the top. It did feel a little quiet, so I'm sorry if the feedback, you couldn't really hear it. I could not really hear it a ton either, but I do like everyone's pose. So we have one of our guys right here. I'm assuming this is June. They're looking back on their time, and I do feel like good chance that everybody is in different fits that may be influenced off of what Lifull has done in the past. I love that choice. The ding, 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 ding. Choosing to isolate it, choosing to have nice little moments, picture moments, literally. They go through, they faded it out. Ding. They go, barrel, 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 barrel. They go, hey, this guy. Okay. He he takes it. He's looking, they're like, hey, what you doing with the hat? Yeah, so it is important to establish concept at the very beginning of your set. You don't want to leave people guessing, right? So I would assume this whole thing was just setting up. You know, I knew there was some sort of interaction in usage of the hat. So that I did pick up on. And because, you know, this is my first season technically with D.LEAGUE, I'm very new to, you know, the lineups of things, or the veteran individuals, those who have had successful seasons and not so much, or the overlaps of different companies sponsoring, that kind of stuff. I'm very new to that. So in my case, it is really nice seeing a lot of these types of interactions or this type of concept. Now knowing what I know, I feel like I'm able to understand it a lot more. I do like how they took it and she put the hat on, and it showcased a lot of influence over them all projecting over into our featured individual, which I like. So everybody goes around, turning it through. I love this. So it has that old school kind of flair, not old school like hip hop sense, but like that swing, you know, the roaring 20s, like that kind of vibe, which I like, even though it's supposed to depict a significant future, but we can still reminisce it in the past in that way. And they new schooled it a little bit, which I really like. That whole little rotation was beautiful. I would say my one note, it could just be because of how it was shot in video. I do know in my life I will need to go see a D.LEAGUE match in real life. Like that would be something that would be an amazing goal probably for the next season, making time to just go out and just be a part of a round, just go and watch. Like I think that would be super fun for me. But we'll see how the cards align. But anyway, it's fun to do this here though. But that was a beautiful, you know, kind of lift that we saw in that transition over having the two lights. I do think there was a little bit of a not as much I feel like we were a little bit off on like placement in the lighting. I noticed that a couple times, and this was the first time I saw that, but it is nice that everybody's kind of transitioning over. He takes the hat again. He goes, hey. So I'm assuming this is older June and this is June of the present, right? Which would be June of the past in the concept, right? So that's what my assumption is. That's what we're going to go off of. Which I think is really fun. I like that. He goes, hey, you should put it on your hat. You should put it on your head. Put the hat on your head. Goes head. Here we go. 2 and 3, 4. So I love that where they're kind of showcasing similarity in movement, but one's not really overshadowing the other. I do like his movement quality. I think he did get a little off near the end, which is okay. Love this. Really nice on the point. Taking it through. Nice little accent there. Switching it through. Da, 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 da. Everyone's doing kind of their own thing. Little Harlem Shake action with a switch up. They take it, moving it around. He goes, hey, my guy over here is feeling himself on this. He takes it, brings it up. I love that. I really love that build up. Looks great. Taking it through. Da 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 da. Everybody's partying it out. Looks nice, but then everybody takes it, slows it. Really nice seeing that little boogaloo variant. I love that. With a little James Brown to finish it out. Looks great. Yep, once again, really nice, but the lighting was a bit tricky, so I couldn't really pick up on a ton of what was going on in that moment, but I do like the lighting here. Looks great. I was switching it through. Looks great. Nice little swing, you know, swing moment. It does match the aesthetic of the track, but notice my people right here, not quite in their circles, so we can't appreciate what they're doing as much until they're in the lift, and then they're able to modify, right? So here he's able to take it more in the center. Looks great. Everybody's sneaking around. I really love that. So when I say this is more competitive, it's like night and day. So they should most likely score a lot better on most, if not all, their categories, because this one has so much more on the dance side that really can help for the categories that they're doing. But I always appreciate the risk taking. Like it's so fun to see. I love that, having our ladies, you know, bun dun da da da. But then once again we have our lighting, little snap. We go, bring it around, bringing it through. D. I like that. No, not everybody's technically, you know, super clean in their unison, which is, I think, okay to a certain extent. It just depends on your concept, but it also depends on the style of genre of music you're doing and the movement context, as well as who your competitor is. Because if your competitor's just rolling on the floor, then you're fine, you know? So I do like that moment where everybody's up and then you have your two add-on for your feature in the center. That's really fun. D. Yeah, right there. He was a little bit too early. He goes, he picks it up. So that will be my in general note there. Doesn't quite make it as clean. And you have a little Harlem Shake at the end. Bringing it up. Switch it through. I really like that choice. Bring it through. Tap, tap. Everybody comes up to showcase and frame properly. Nice little weight breakdown, looks great. Takes it, da-da-da-da-da, and then we take it near the end of the turn. He takes it, he comes up. Now for me, part of me wishes he didn't stick his tongue out like all the freaking time, but also if he's living in it, let him live in it. Like, who cares? I also wish that I was in a place where if I'm at that age, if I make it to that age, that I would be able to dance to that degree. Like, that was really, really fun and enjoyable. And I am excited for Lifull, and I'm hopeful for good results for them for this round. But let's go ahead and take a look at Valuance. Oh. Nice. Ugh. Wow. Wow. Oh. Ooh, that was good. So the concept is just showcasing different variants within breaking and hip hop. So I got that wholeheartedly. So the only thing that I would say that, oh, hold on, audience vote. Tricky. For me, I always appreciate whenever I see heavy musicality. I know that is something that I am biased towards. So if I was just a watcher, a spectator, I would give it to Valuance as my audience choice because of that exact factor. Because they had incredible musicality variants that they showcased. And they made it to where it helped you be able to appreciate their actual skill set because they were playing around with not just the variance of the skills, but how they were laying it onto the music. So I think that's, for me, is why I would give them my audience vote. So, but right here from the top, they are wearing, more tracksuit fit, more windbreaker fit. So you are going to take I was expecting more of a fundamental approach because I do know background, Valuence Infinities has heavy breaking in their background. That I know. But if I was just coming in hot or coming in not knowing who they were, for me, I would say, okay, we're dealing with something more fundamental. I love that choice. I love how he raised his arms up and everybody did a speed change. That was really nice. Onto the music, he goes in. Then we have a nice, honestly, his jump was really high, and I think part of it was having everybody be so low, and that allowed him to have a really nice height to it. He takes it. Lighting also worked in their favor there too. I love that everybody was so full and they collapsed to the ground. It kind of felt like they all assaulted each other in movement and in essence, and then they all kind of dropped to the floor. I love that choice. Then you have about about 5 out of the 8 come up, and they accent now having and creating a great add-on with somebody else coming in, weaving through everybody. He takes it, boom, pulls them, having one of our guys nice hanging out with the sunglasses. I'm honestly impressed at the fact that some of these hats and the sunglasses did not come off. Very impressive. I love this. So you have some guys literally just standing around over here. But it is nice that they were kind of taking a more pedestrian approach, and then they go take them and they pull them in energy. That's really fun. Running around, that ding ding kind of feels like a little, like a pony trot almost, right? I think that's really fun. Turning, that's really fun to see there. They're taking it, doon cha da da doon doon. Really like that. They take it around, boom boom. Love that choice. And I love that everybody takes it with their hands out to the side. And then you have one of our guys press up to a handstand. Incredible. He drops down. Now from here, he has to hold it in order for everybody to catch up. And then they come up into a kip up. That's so impressive. It's little things like that that make you go, wow. Because with their features, you see it a couple times, and that's one of the times where they do something and then they have to wait. And then they end up finishing the movement when everybody else joins in. So that's super dope. Taking it around, boom, swinging it around. Now, when they do unison sections, it's important for them to be in unison. Even though everybody has a similar quality of movement, or they can all execute similarly, the range on some of this stuff can get really dicey really fast, especially in angles, in some of the positioning of the lower half versus the upper part of the body. But they did a fantastic job, especially on level representation. So whenever they would all drop, it's very clear that they all dropped. Dropping it down is so nice, woo, and the sounds really help too. And they're kind of thrown in, not at random, but they allow for more sporadic decision making, which helps up their, not making it feel so predictable, which can really work in their favor here. Taking it around, I love this, and taking the ISO over to the side with the rock side to side looks great. Love that. Swim that through, and then they kick through, taking it around. You can tell that everybody, to the degree of the groove, is on the same page. It's little things like that that just really look super nice, and a lot of people neglect, but they're not neglecting it, which makes it great. They take it through, da 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 da. Yeah, dropping it. I love this. Everyone drops it, and you have two people do a backwards roll. Then you have, it's just establish a different lines. You have half of the group that didn't roll back, swim with both arms, some didn't swim at all. And then you have, it does not feel like that crisp and clean, but it's not a style that you want to have crisp and clean, because that's not what it's not going to feel as authentic in presence and representation, right? So, but that doesn't mean that you can't be clean. It's just if you're going to pick between being clean or being authentic, be authentic through and through, and then refine your cleanliness. In this case, they did a great job, like noticing when you have everybody go right here into an alpha kick. That was really dope. Boom, and then they kind of swim it through, which is really nice, and then swimming it to create a more tighter formation. It looks great. Boom, boom, do-do-do. And then they bring it over, and I love having your center guy take his arms up, prep it, and drop it down. Really great way to promote the momentum to stage left. I love that. Do-do-do. I love that choice. Really great way to kind of open up and allow somebody to come in. It goes doom, 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 doom. Really like that choice as well. That it kind of feels like a sound vacuum, and they kind of suck the sound out of the air. It looks great. Let that boom, 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 boom. Really like that choice. Boom, boom. I love that as well. They bring in the energy around, and then we transition it over to the side, which I really like. Boom and pow. Love that choice. He takes it. Now, what was really cool is they took the energy, if you think about it, they took the energy over to the side, and he used his left hand to promote the energy to have him transition over to a new spot. That's dope. Super cool. And then he takes it, boom, uses a lot of his choices and momentum traveling over to stage left to allow more waving to be present and more of a legato transition. I think it's super dope. That was cool too. Boom. And how he did it wasn't on like a clean 5 or something like that. It was just on not a random count, but it was definitely, everybody had to be on the same page on what they're listening for in order to allow that to happen. So that was really fun. I love that. Dee-dee-dee. Boom. I really like that choice. Looks super dope. We'll tap through. Nice little barrel jump, which is nice. And everybody's doing a nice slow boogaloo influence, which is really nice. You can't really see it to appreciate it, but then you have him featured over in the corner. Everybody's still breaking it down. Boom. Da-doom, doom, doom. Hitting it through, ding, 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 ding. Really like that as well. And right here, boom, with the swings, that swing, swing, swing. I really like that progression. It's super nice, and it's full. Like, the fullness and the stamina of this is just so captivating. I love that there too. Do. Notice he didn't quite step on my guy on stage right as effectively as I think he could have. I think it was mostly, he stepped near the tail end, so he didn't get as much of a height in comparison to my stage left, but it's so minimal, it's not even an issue. I wouldn't even call it that. I love the drop downs, drop on the knees and then bring it back up. I love that extension out, looks great. Love that choice too, do-do-do-do. Love that as well. Triple do-do-do. They take it and expand it out to the side. And they go trot it back in. I really like that as well. So it's even the transitions from the walks to the hops to the trots, like all of those things. It is nice that we're not just seeing walks. Like we're seeing a little bit, like we're keeping the energy, but it's a little bit like a different font of energy, right? And it's just really fun to be able to see that here and see it where everybody's on the same page at all times. Even if it's not as crisp and clean as what you would normally see from like, let's say Katakawa or Avex, right? But it's still really nice. Each group is known for different things. For me, they are known for having an authentic representation of breaking, but they're able to do it in a way that is tasteful and meets the demands or the criteria of a competitive choreographic competition circuit. And I think that's so impressive. I love that how they take it out and they drop it down, switching it through. God, that's gorgeous. They roll it through a nice little CC and they switch it up. I love that choice. Right there, that hit, and then they thread it and then they take it around. Ooh, it's a little swipe. That was cool. Love that right there. Gosh, into a Thomas Flare. He takes it and drops it. Oh my gosh. And he takes it and presses up those hands to get right back up. Like it was nothing. Whoo, that was super dope right there into a freeze. But notice the freeze, it was like an elbow, like not an elbow freeze, but it was, they used the leg to assist on the elbow. That was cool. That was another instance where everybody held it and then he goes back handspring straight into it. Now, back handspring wasn't super crisp to the back, but who cares? I don't care about that as much. He takes it right there into little hooks that are happening in their top rocks, which I really love. Dropping it down, boom, notice a commitment even through the head. Looks really nice here. Hitting it through, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Really great to match the music, the kick around, and the drop to jazz split. Sheesh Louise, man. Okay, so for me, if I'm going off of the criteria based on my knowledge of what this criteria is, skill, creativity, choreography, style, and performance, who would I give what? Or who would win the item for me? I'm not going to do point values. Okay, for skill, I would say Valuence had higher difficulty in their content, so I would give them the skill category. I also think in style, Valuence took. Creativity, I would say... For me, I appreciate creativity on a musicality front, but if you are going to do it off of concept, I would say both did a pretty good job. They didn't have a concept to go off of. It's just, that's where it gets so subjective, right? Where it's I don't have as much clarity for myself in terms of what they specifically look for. I only can go off of what I glean from their judges' commentary based on Google Translate. So in my case, I think choreography... I liked Valuence's choreography more because of the variance of the musicality, but I think creativity, I appreciate the concept that Lifull did. So I think they may run into a similar thing that I would say Match 1 had, where Valuence would take most of my items, but I wouldn't say it'd be a clean sweep, if that makes sense. So I would put Valuence for choreo. And I also thought that Valuence was cleaner as well. And in terms of they were more stable. I think one of our guys, it would be really, really close between the two. So honestly, it could go to either. I would say style, Valuence, and then I would give creativity to Lifull. Okay, so I'm kind of doing a little marathon of all the D.LEAGUE rounds. So I'm going to find out who got what in the very near future. So, this was such a fun match, super fun matchup. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. If you want to see more D.LEAGUE, I'm always actively trying to play catch up right now, and I'm really doing my best to get it to where it's I'm caught up on what's actually happening in the rounds. If you want to be a part of it as I do it in real time and not whenever it comes out on a schedule on YouTube, Patreon's a really great place to look. But I also have many other different types of dance content I look at, anywhere from American dance competitions to you have the Red Bull circuit. You also have a ton of K-pop content that I look at, because there's a lot of group choreography that's really fun to look at conceptually with those that have to sing as another prerequisite on top of dancing. So that's a really fun area to navigate as well. If you want in on that, I have it on YouTube, but I have so much more on Patreon. Once again, my name is Jess. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.